Okay, unknown, unknown. Couldn't you say that as violin 1 and then make violin 2 one octave lower if you're going to orchestrate this? Ooh, it's definitely possible. Yeah, I could do if I orchestrate this. Which I'm not gonna do because it's on my laptop. My laptop doesn't have all my sound libraries and stuff. But yeah, I could definitely split this melody into 2 octaves and do both. There's lots of stuff I could do. Let's take this down. One of my favorite strategies for creating a very lush sound is to take your melody, to double it in octaves, and then double it again, but this time with chordal tones from the melody. This is called a chordal texture. So let's see how this is going to sound. It's a very simple strategy you can use. It does require some effort if you're going to actually orchestrate it. But see, so first chord is C major. So I can take any of these notes that I want as long as I just stick to notes taken from the underlying chord. It goes from a very simple doubled in octaves, which is nice. Gives a bit more prominence to the melody, gives a bit more width to the sound, but then when you double it with a chordal texture, adding that same identical rhythm, just using only notes from the underlying chord, and you sandwich it between 2 octaves, you suddenly get this much more rhythmic, this much more harmonically rich quality. Ooh, right? It's amazing, isn't it? Just cool little things like that. There's so many wonderful things. This is why I'm such a huge advocate for studying music theory. Not because I'm trying to limit you, not because I'm trying to say that you can only follow the rules. No, of course not. Music theory is literally just a collection of experiences. So if you would have a friend, if you have a couple friends who are composers and they're saying, hey, check out this really, really cool thing I just found, this really, really cool strategy I just came up with, or this idea, this sound I made, and you go, that's really cool, I want to try that too, and you try this thing, and that's what they did, and it's really cool. That's basically how I view music theory, is you have generations of past composers who have discovered really cool ways of doing things, and they're saying, hey, try this out. If you want this kind of effect, do this. My favorite analogy for this is the idea of like trying to write a poem in a language you don't know. Of course you can do it. Yes, with today's technology and like even just like dictionaries, it is entirely possible to write a beautiful poem using a language that you don't speak. However, if you speak that language, if you know it and you study it and you get to know it very, very well, then you can be much more deliberate with which words you choose. You become aware of all the little different nuances, all the little different details between meanings of different words, which allows you to make these beautiful, incredible choices while writing your poem. So for example, like native English speakers, for those of you who are on here who are native English speakers, we know that there is a difference between joyful, content, and I'll say ecstatic. All right, those are 3 very different meanings, but they all basically mean happy. All right, kind of. There's some variation of happy. So if I didn't know that, then I might choose the wrong one. I might choose one that's not necessarily wrong, but it just doesn't fit what I was hoping to say with my poem. It's the same with music theory. The more music theory you know, the more deliberate you can be with your choices, the more options you have, the more ideas that you may have never come up with suddenly present themselves to you. The trick is to make sure that as you study music theory, you never treat it like dogma. You never treat it like a set of rules. You treat it like a set of suggestions, all right? So if you want to do something and the music theory says, don't do that, you say, who cares? I'm going to do it anyway because I want to do it, all right? And then, can you tell? Can you tell I've been drinking 32 ounces of black tea? Can you tell that I've got lots of caffeine in my system right now? But yeah, I'm starting to get all kind of hyped up now. Let's see here. Let's get caught up on some more comments.